Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. So as you can tell, I've titled this one, How Could I Have Done This? How could I have destroyed this set? Well, I've got an interesting story about this. Similar to how I have just introduced you into how I originally came into the game. The next set that I got was actually the Magic Ruler set. And the reason I call it Magic Ruler and not Spell Ruler was because when I was into the game, when I started at the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh, it was originally called Magic Ruler. It had an issue where they had to change their name from Magic cards to Spell cards, and that's how this happened. Well, again, I think I was about 10 or 11 years old. We were on a family day trip, again, to my kind of that same area that I was saying before. It was a shopping centre. It's a really nice area, and my mum, my brother and myself were going for a bit of a day trip as well. Again, we went to just see what was around and just have a nice time. We went to the Butcher's, we went to Thornton's again, my favourite place. We went to Game to get another pack of cards. In this case, it had been the Magic Ruler set. We were just going around doing a bit of shopping as well, just a bit of mooching. We just had a really nice, family moment, family time, and really nice memories from that. But unfortunately, because I was kind of carrying quite a few things, and for me, even though we got another McDonald's, I wasn't too hungry at the time. We decided as well, because we spent a lot of time within the shopping centre and we didn't realise the time, that we would take it as to go rather than to eat in. In doing that, I had like a Happy Meal, same as my brother, and I had a Coke in my hand, and then I had the new pack that I was really excited to see, and I was just so excited that I wanted to open them up in the car. Big mistake. Don't do that with little kids, because if you open them, chances are things are going to spill or things are going to get messy, which is exactly what happened to me. I had my Coke in one hand, which is, at the time, you got the super big ones. Now, you don't see those these days unless you go to America. In the UK, they cut out all the super-sized fries and the Coke because of, they were worried about junk food sizes and obesity as well at that point. So they cut all those sizes down. I think McDonald's also made that decision. But anyway, I'll get back to the story. I was opening the pack and I had the Coke between my legs and kind of trying to clench onto it, and then kind of as the car was going over the area, if you knew it, has quite a few speed bumps. Reason is, you've got some crazy people out there who are driving at, stupid miles per hour. And because of that, kind of it went over a bump, and then because I had barely touched the Coke, some of it spilled out onto the pack. I was able to recover most of the cards, and they were in a decent condition, except for the card that I'm going to point out to you now. This card, Beaver Warrior, was unfortunately at the top of the pack, so it actually got the biggest splurt on it, and actually quite a bit of it got ruined. It became quite white, and I still have the card now to this day. I don't have it on me, but I'm sure it's within my collection. It's a card that has memories as well. My second my second pack, and essentially the first pack I ruined by being a little kid. Unfortunately, it's just how things go, and I'm sure you've got your own kind of stories to tell about them. Mostly of the cards were fine. They were just got a bit wet. I kind of had to pat them down using my shirt because I didn't have anything else, and maybe a couple of napkins as well. But that's just how things are, aren't they? You're always going to get a little bit of mess here or there. Most of the others I were able to recover, but as you can see, for a first pack, it wasn't particularly great. I'll just cover them now. Malevolent Blaster is an equip card that gives one of your monsters 700 attack. It's decent. At the time, it was one of the more consistent ways of boosting up your monster's attack outside of field spells, and it was at least certainly one of the highest, if not the highest. And it could recover itself as well by just paying a 500 life points and then returning it to the top of your deck. I remember with Amoeba that got pretty damaged as well, but again, because of its stat lineup, I wasn't too worried about it. Of course, being able to burn your opponent for 2,000 points life point damage is really amazing, but you do have to kind of make sure to switch control of it to your opponent. So it does rely on you having to do things as well. Mahavy wasn't too damaged. Luckily, it was probably what I considered to be the best card that I got within the set of 9 here. And of course, it paired well with Malevolent Blaster, as that boosted its attack points by 1,200, making it a 2,750 attack monster. For a level 4, I don't even think that's too bad. Guardian of the Throne Room, it wasn't too damaged. Again, it was one of those cards that I thought, oh, okay, it's a level 4 and it's got a decent stat lineup, so I was glad it wasn't damaged too badly. Miner is a monster that also does some burn damage, but it requires it to be discarded by your opponent's effect. It's weaker than Amoeba in that the control getting your opponent to do this is much more difficult than the conditions for Amoeba, and the amount of burn damage you do to your opponent is half what Amoeba can do. A giant turtle who feeds on flames. At this point, this is where I realised about the level rulings that level 5s need a tribute. Once I saw this card, I thought, oh, great. I've got a giant turtle with barely any stat line up who requires a sacrifice. Once I saw that, I thought, okay, this is a dead card in my hand. So that it was fine. Beaver Warrior, unfortunately, did get quite damaged, but you could see the stat line up on it. I was just like, okay, it's a shame. But I still favour this card, and still, I still like the card anyway. Hero Shadow Scout was one of the effect monsters I actually really enjoyed, because it does it basically forces your opponent to discard any of the spell cards they draw, and I thought this is a good way of ripping out your opponent's cards. It was an early version of kind of hand control and deck destruction, and I thought it was an okay card. And the only foil I really got within the set in that pack was Invader of the Throne. Its ability is to be able to switch control of this and an opponent's monster. So essentially they get the Invader of the Throne and you get whatever monster they have. Depending on what they give you, what you get is the value in it. This had a decent stat lineup for a level 4 at the time, so actually you could end up with some pretty useless cards. I love talking to you guys about the memories, and if you ever want to ask any questions about that, please leave those comments down below. Any donations you can make to this charity are greatly appreciated. Gastrointestinal diseases are becoming a lot more common, and you never know if someone who might be in the same situation. Some of these conditions can be genetic or influenced by genetic problems, and so any donations are much appreciated. I hope you have a nice Christmas, and keep an eye out for the live stream. I'll keep you updated with any donations if I can, but if not, I think they're done privately through their donation channels, so I might not have as much access as I might want to, for security reasons and personal details and GDPR. If anyone wants to know what that is, it's General Data Protection Regulations. It's an EU law which basically means you cannot process information without seeking the individual's permission, and you can only retain it for a certain amount of time, and you have to seek further clarification if you need to repurpose the information as well.